The latest in rally news from here and around the world. R2G Rally Radio.
Good morning again. I'm Booker here for R2G Rally Race Radio. Here for your next update. What's happening? I'll hand it over to Lani. Lani.
Yes, welcome back everybody to coverage from the Daybreaker Rally powered by Brian Green Properties. We are stoked that the cars have started to arrive in Feilding, and we have a special guest lined up to talk to some of our drivers. Lance is at Repco in Feilding with a special guest, none other than Rally Radio Global Extraordinaire, Colin Clark. Lance.
Yeah, thanks, Lani. That was one massive introduction. The cars are arriving here in the car park next to Repco here at 𝗥𝗱𝗶𝗆 Road, Feilding. Whoa, the number of people here. This is fabulous. And yes, we have Colin Clark here. Colin, this is a little bit like last year. When you look at the number of people here, this is sensational.
Do you know what? Feilding is a special wee place, isn't it, as you say? It's special because they clearly understand motorsport. They get motorsport. And you were at the start here last year. I reckon there were, 1,500 people, 2,000 people. It was a tremendous atmosphere. The queue for the autographs was an hour and a half. And they've turned out again this morning, and it's fabulous. It's a great wee town. Voted New Zealand's prettiest town 15 times, I'm told. But today it's all about rallying, isn't it? And it's great to see the locals turning out. They'll get the autographs, they'll see the cars, they'll get the photographs. It'll be fabulous. And you can smell it, smell the rubber, and the exhaust is wonderful.
I think you can smell the atmosphere. Now, Colin, I know you have a passion for this. There's a chance for you to take the microphone and have a chat to some of these people that you've been doing all day, but radio.
Well, I've had a quiet day. I have to say, I've had a quiet day so far this morning. We went to stage 4, which sadly, we only saw one car through, and then I think the stage was annulled, unfortunately. But it's been a busy morning running around chasing cars, but we haven't seen many.
All right, let's go and have a chat to Hayden.
Let's do that. I'll take the mic, sir. Yeah, radio is my absolute passion. I had 15 years doing stop lines in the World Rally Championship, and there's nothing like it, Lance. You'll know what it's like. You get out to stop lines. The atmosphere, the adrenaline, the smells, the tension in the cars, to be able to talk to drivers the second they've come through the stage is quite unique in motorsport, and it's something we have to protect, isn't it, from a rallying perspective, because you don't get reactions like it. The minute the drivers have filled in their time cards, they've gone 100 metres down the road, you get a different response. That instant response at stop lines is very special.
Absolutely. And really, you don't know what it's like until you've been there. And that's the power of radio.
It's utterly intoxicating. It's utterly intoxicating. And this is the great thing about radio. Let's go and see who we can find then. The young Hudson's having a little chat. The young Hudson's. But this is incredible. The Hudson's, brother and sister, mum and dad are co-drivers. These two are co-drivers. They're both participating in their 50th event here. Now, I don't know how they managed to do that and how they've worked it out. It's not the same 50 they've done. But they're having quite an animated conversation, like.
They are, and it's actually, it was a question we asked last night. Imagine what the conversations would be like around the dinner table. They are, you could say, arch rivals, but they're brother and sister at the same time. We really want to be eavesdropping, don't we?
Well, I've been to dinner with them. The first time I was in New Zealand not for a rally, first time I was in the South Island for a Otago, flying out of Christchurch, night in a hotel. The lovely Hudson said, "No, you're not coming to stay with us." Cooked Sunday dinner, it was gorgeous. Guys, let's have a little word, Jazz. Interesting morning out there today. You guys have gone brilliantly out there, but it's been very challenging.
Yeah, it's been a very, very challenging morning. Obviously, some very, very technical stages, quite long as well. So, yeah, demanding, but enjoying it.
And Amy, you were having quite an animated conversation with your brother there. What were you discussing?
Oh, just clocking in on minutes and sort of the car in front taking longer than you would like to, and getting time cards back on time before you start. Because at this rally, they're actually doing it. We have been previously filling in your own time card for everything, whereas now they've gone back to actually passing it out to the people on the start line. So it takes a little bit longer to get it all filled out and then get set and ready to go.
Yeah, and it's a busy rally, isn't it? It's a busy rally in the stages themselves. They're technical stages, lots and lots of notes. But in terms of this kind of thing, the regroups, the media opportunities, you guys have got to be absolutely on top of all that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great to have a regroup here with enough time that we can go and sign some posters and meet some people, which is really, really good. But yeah, you do have to look after your media engagement. But yeah, when the helmet goes on, it's full focus on the notes.
Full focus. I mean, how's your driver been this morning? How's Brendan got on? Obviously, you're first time with him. His first time here in 5 years. His first time at Daybreaker, I think. How's he got on?
Yeah, good. Struggled a bit in the dark this morning. The lights weren't overly great and he started feeling a little bit car sick. So he's had that sort of coming and going as well now since then.
Who got car sick?
Brendan.
Oh, I've got to go and speak to Brendan.
A little bit, not bad.
Oh, I've got to go. He's old enough, he's sensible enough, he's daft enough not to get car sick. Brendan Reeves getting car sick. I'm going to interrupt this conversation. I'm very sorry. Right. I've just heard the fact that I just do not believe. Your co-driver's telling tales. Said you were feeling a little car sick in the dark this morning, Brendan. What's that all about?
Yeah, I don't know, Cole. It wasn't nice. I'm still not completely over it now, to be fair, but it's getting better. Got the colour in my face, so that's good.
Do you know what I can recommend for it? Ginger, I'm told. I've learned this weekend that ginger apparently is very, very good. Can we go and find you a bottle of ginger ale, maybe some ginger snaps, some chocolate gingers?
Yeah,
so we'll get you through
that. Yeah, my dad gets car sick actually driving, and my brother too. So they take ginger tablets, but I don't usually have too much of a problem. But I think, learning a new car, concentrating, looking short distance in the dark, and it's so twisty. It's probably one of the twistiest rallies I've ever done. Even then the power stage is fast, but previous stage really twisty again. But yeah, we're learning the car, and that's what it's all about.
And you're enjoying it, Brendan. I know it's never easy. Listen, see this cameraman here, this wonderful cameraman. Wade, he was driving this morning. I felt a little car sick.
Yeah. No, I
didn't wait. I didn't feel car sick. Your driving was beautiful, but it's easy to do on these roads. But yeah, have you enjoyed it out there?
I probably just started to enjoy it then. On the stage was more similar to Otago, the first run on the power stage, where you could get the car, up in the gears in sixth gear and get a bit of momentum. That's probably what I'm suited to best. It's tight, twisty stuff where you're looking through the side windows. A little bit strange, even though I drive a rear-wheel drive car a lot. And I think your seating position, you're sitting so far back in the car too. I feel like I'm going sideways, but I can actually go more sideways again. So I'm just building the confidence up to that.
So much to learn in the dark. Brendan, best of luck this afternoon. I will get you some ginger if you need some.
Sounds good.
There we go, that's me. And let's have a word with this chap, Ben Hunt. Ben, I'm not as good as you. Apparently, I've got to walk and talk. Ben, tell me about the morning out there. Do you know, it's not even 11 o'clock and you've done, 5 or 6 stages already today. It's astonishing, isn't it? A busy, challenging morning.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame. Stage 4 got cancelled. It was looking forward to tight and technical, but it was definitely pretty different driving in the dark compared to Invercargill, that's for sure, on these tight technical roads. But yeah, loving it so far.
Now, what is the long stage called? I want to call it Peekaboo, but it's not Peekaboo, is it? What's it called? People Day. It's almost Peekaboo. 37 kilometres. That's a proper challenge.
Yeah, we haven't had anything like that so far this year. Like I said, the South Island was so fast, and definitely a bit worn out after doing that, and we'll have to go do it again soon.
Happy with the way things have gone this morning then?
Yeah, I just, I've obviously got buggered back, and I'm just struggling a little bit in the, just being comfortable in the car and just applying the brake. It's pushing a lot on the lower back. So, I'm having fun though, and it's just sort of getting through and just keep smoking the drugs.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't mean that. Where did the bad back come from?
I've got 3 disc bulges, so one's pinching the nerve, but yeah.
Ooh, disc bulges, that's what we used to call a slip disc. That can be really painful. I had it once. It's horrible, isn't it?
Pain in the ass, literally. Annually.
Down the side, it's sciatic nerve. You're a very brave boy to be out in a rally car. I couldn't get out of bed.
Don't show that on TV, though.
It's not going on TV. It's live on the radio. No, he's a heck of a boy. He really is. Now, where are we going? We wanted to get hold. Now they're up on the stage. Do you know what? I'm going to follow them up on the stage. So just to give you an idea of where we are, I keep forgetting I'm back on the radio. We are there's the centre and the square in Feilding. We've come to... It's a car park, just maybe a couple of 100 metres from the centre of Feilding. Is this what's the name of the car park here we're by, if anyone's listening? Where are we?
Right next door to 𝗥𝗱𝗹𝗆𝗆 on 𝗥𝗡𝗆𝗆𝗆 Road.
That's what I want to remember, 𝗥𝗱𝗆𝗆. Hello, boys. I'm going to follow you up onto the stage. How are you, sir? You well?
Good, thank you. Yeah.
How's the morning gone?
It's been really good. Yeah, really awesome. Yeah.
Difficult conditions, though, out there. The dark, the slippery conditions. Quite testing.
Yeah, very testing. This morning was a bit of an eye-opener, all right. So, but, the roads are cut up a little bit, so hopefully second pass through those last 2, they'll be hopefully better.
I tell you what, I was in the stage that was cancelled, unfortunately. Some of the most beautiful scenery I genuinely think I've seen anywhere. It's stunning around here, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's outstanding. I don't get time to look at it too much, but, it is. It's awesome.
That's good to hear. I'm glad you don't get to see it too much. Now, so what's going on? We're in Repco car park. Cars are coming in. They're coming off the stages. It's a little bit of a media opportunity. So there's a time control. They come, they check in, they park up, and the people of Feilding have turned out in force. Oh, my goodness. Over to our right, we have the Manchester Street School stands. They've got, I think, sausages on the go. There's sausages and fried onions. Oh, it smells magnificent. I think there are some burgers there, some cakes there as well. And we're up on the stage, and it's the autograph stage. So our top crew's sitting behind the desks. They've got their marker pens, they've got the posters, and we've got a line of, I don't know how many kids, 50, 60 kids all queuing up to come and get autographs from all of these wonderful, wonderful drivers and co-drivers. The one I wanted a very quick word before I maybe hand back. I'm going to sit next to him. Sorry, Lance is in my way. That's my seat, Lance. I'm an old man. I need to sit next to this global superstar of world rallying. I can't sign your name, Hayden, man. You've handed me the pen. Is it these kids are after your autograph? Hayden, I got to say, what a performance from you out there this morning. At some of those times, we had to double check. You were absolutely flying.
Yes, been a good morning. Obviously, we have an advantage with the road position. First on the road's a place to be, so that certainly helps us a bit. But yeah, just loving it as well. The car's working like clockwork, and when it's like that and it's easy, it's just fun.
And that wouldn't normally be the case, would it? If we'd had a dry day this morning, first on the road would have been a disadvantage. Just explain to maybe some people who are listening and don't understand.
Yeah, normally when it's dry here in New Zealand, you sweep at the gravel a lot, so you got this like ball bearing on top of the road, and basically you don't have grip. You sit on top of the ball bearing, so you're sweeping this away, and then the more that it sweeps, the car's following and getting more and more down to the hard surface to where the grip is. But in the wet, what actually happens is that as you go over, the mud comes out of the surface, and it actually becomes slippery and muddier. So generally, we normally have a disadvantage in New Zealand. Not that I don't mind. I love it because you're actually sliding around and going sideways. But today we have an advantage.
Wow, incredible. And you've made the most of it. Is it absolutely the place to be? If you had a choice this morning, would you have gone one or maybe two or three might have been the best place to be?
I always like being one. I can make my own line on the road then.
Well, I know you like being one. You really are number one. We talked about this last night. I think what a lot of people underestimate is we know how brilliant a driver you are. You're absolutely world class. But what you get out of the car, the Hyundai, yourself, Hyundai New Zealand, Hayden Padden Motorsport, you're getting more out of that car than just about any other preparation team anywhere in the world. It's incredible because, it's a lot of hard work to get that car to go well and to go consistently without braking.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty proud of that. Between our New Zealand team, we're obviously working hard with BRC, but it's not just them. We've been working a lot with our own guys here, and they don't get to spend much time on Europe with us on events. Long term, I want to change that. I want to be running our own team. But yeah, pretty proud. When we first come back with this car in 22, when we first got it, we were way off the pace and we were nowhere. And I think at that time everyone thought we'd lost it and we're nothing. But definitely in the last 2 years, with some time and development, we brought that back. So I love the challenge. It's the speed, and I think almost as impressive as the speed you found was the reliability of the car. Hayden, just give us a quick update on what's happening in Europe. It's been a tough old season. Isn't it great to meet these youngsters? I love this. You're a proper global superstar here. Give us an update on what's happening in the European Championship. You've got a proper fight on your hands, but what a performance in Wales. It's put you back in a strong position. Oh, yeah, definitely. Obviously, Wales was probably better than we expected. We knew we had to go over there and put the hammer down and actually try and put our mark on the championship this late in the piece. So, yeah, better result than what we expected. Obviously puts us in a position where we've got to try and get back to Poland now, which we never budgeted for. So, but it's looking likely we probably should get back, so that's good. And, try and finish off the job, but it's definitely not a done deal yet.
Do you know what you have to do when you get to Poland? Do you know what the minimum you have to do is?
If Matteo Franceschi wins in power stage, I think if we're top 6, it's enough. But we'll just focus on what we're doing, and we've obviously got a bit of time. But normally we go to Poland and go on the gravel, not to go to Poland on tarmac.
Of course, because they've had the gravel rally this year around 𝗥𝗱𝗶𝗆. So whereabouts in Poland is that then?
Oh, don't.
You won't know, will you?
The co-driver's job.
Hayden, I have to say, wonderful to see you doing such a good job this morning. Great job out there. Well done.
Thank you.
Good. So there we go. That's Hayden Padden and young Jared Hudson, co-driver. They're heading off. Next to them is our Aussie driver, Brendan Reeves and Amy Hudson. And then there's, let's have a word with these two. It's Mr. Reed and Emma. Emma, I have to say, I was watching out on the stages this morning. Goodness me, it looked like fun out there. Had some really strong times this morning. You seem to be getting to grips with this car on these stages.
Yeah, really enjoying it. Car's really well suited, obviously, to these tight, twisty stuff. So, and made some setup changes before this event. So, yeah, really enjoying it. It's working really well with Malcolm in the car and just having fun.
This is good as you felt in this car? Is it definite progress going in the right direction?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I haven't had the car here in the North Island, so I haven't really done a twisty rally before. So, yeah, it was just, I suppose, the last event I was sort of trying to just get my confidence back. Instead of now, it's like, how do I change the car to get my confidence back? So, yeah, no, really enjoying it.
Fantastic. And Malcolm Reid, co-driver, Malky, there are special stages out there, aren't there? And it was a great morning of rallying. I think it's just after 11 o'clock and we've done, 6 or 7 stages. Really special out there this morning.
Yeah, I mean, this region's just phenomenal in terms of the roads and the countryside, like the camber, the contour, the flowing nature of them. 37 Ks went in a flash, it was, I think, 27 minutes for the stage time, but it's just so enjoyable. You don't go, ooh, 37 Ks, you sit there going, wow, this is going to be fun. So, yeah, it's just a joy to rally these roads.
37 Ks of notes. How many pages was that?
35.
Is that right? Nearly a page a K?
Yeah, basically a page a K. That's how twisty they are. So a few straights in there to break it on up, catch your breath every now and again. But and it's great to see the amount of spectators out there. It was quite early this morning. There was camper vans parked mid-stage and things like that. So it's good to see the locals supporting the event.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Well done, you guys. Now, here's a young man here who potentially is the future of New Zealand rallying. Zio, you had a really strong performance out there this morning. 1 or 2 excellent stage times. Feeling good in the car?
Yeah, no, it's feeling really good in the car, and there's still time now. I'm just getting to a point where I'm really comfortable in the car, but it's keep going. But we're kind of consolidating now. We're in a safe position, but there's still 3 proper stages to go.
It is unbelievable, isn't it? Only 3 more to go, and it's not even lunchtime yet. It's tough, isn't it? It's an early start. What time did you guys leave this morning from Palmerston North?
4 a.m., but my alarm was at 3, so it feels like it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Getting your head around that sometimes is the most important thing. To get yourself in the zone at that time of the morning can be quite tough.
Yeah, no, exactly. We struggled a little bit in the dark, but as soon as we got in the light, I knew what to do, and it was good.
You did a great job out there. Well done. We'll talk to these guys. We'll catch up with you boys later. Lance, I think I'm going to pass back to you now. Do you know what? Around and look at all these guys. And maybe buy myself a little sausage sandwich from the Manchester Street School.
You're going to the Manchester School they come along, they provide the queue.
It sounds like we're having some technical issues with the microphone there at Feilding. So we'll try and get those issues resolved and see if Lance can fix the microphone there for us.
Once we get out without the absolute it doesn't have unique regard. It's not like the Manfield circuit where someone owns it and they'll charge us to go and use their circuit. We have roads that people are using every day, and the support you get from the around here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Colin. Go and enjoy time out around there. Are we okay? Are we clear?
It sounds like we're having some issues with the microphone there in Feilding. We can't hear a lot. Maybe that water has got to Lance's microphone after all, despite the fact that the weather has slowly started clearing. I don't want to put a curse on it, but I think the water this morning might have got into Lance's microphone there a bit.
Okay, well, I'll leave you. Let's try this. I'll leave you to actually give us a bit of a rundown on what's happening, and we'll see if we can come back and find out what's going on. Chase this gremlin out.
Yes, so it was fantastic to have Colin Clark spend some time with us talking to some of the key drivers. So what we heard is actually Brendan Reeves, our Australian driver there, got a bit car sick in the dark. Now, I have heard that particularly co-drivers do struggle in the dark when they're reading out those pace notes, and that can cause some nauseous symptoms. So it was interesting to hear that Brendan actually got sick in those early stages this morning, and he actually reported that both his dad and his brother also get a little bit sick when they're driving, but normally he's okay. There's been a lot happen over the course of the morning, and of course right at this moment the crews are stopped at Feilding, where there is a sausage sizzle by one of the local schools, and they'll then head to service, which has been held at Manfield Park. It was interesting to hear from Hayden as well. He was saying that his road position has given him an advantage this morning, and that he was pleased to be seated first on the road. He sort of joked that he gets to make his own line by being first on the road, and it's no surprises that he is absolutely dominating the event results this morning. We also heard from Ben Hunt, who's currently in second overall, and he is really looking forward to the rest of the stages this afternoon and going back to those repeat stages. Pepo Day, which is a 37-kilometre test, and special stage 9, which is 𝗥𝗱𝗆𝗆, and that's also the power stage for the New Zealand Rally Championship points. So that'll be interesting to see how it goes there on the second run through. Ben also reported that the dark stages this morning were quite different than in 𝗥𝗱𝗶𝗆 being in the dark, but he is struggling a little bit applying pressure to the brakes. He's got a bit of a back issue there. So will be interesting to see how Ben goes through the afternoon. Now, hot on his heels is the young 𝗥𝗱𝗍𝗆𝗆, and he's obviously having a cracker of an event, and he's really kind of contesting for that third position alongside Emma Gilmore. Emma is also really enjoying the car. She's saying that Citroen is really suited to these tight, twisty and technical roads, and she's got her confidence back. You could definitely hear the joy in Emma's voice as she spoke to Colin Clark there in Feilding. What was also really great is we got to hear from Malcolm Reed, a very experienced co-driver, obviously working at the moment for 𝗥𝗡𝗆𝗆 in the World Rally Championship there. And what he was saying was in that special stage 6 Pepo Day, because of the technicality of the roads and the amount of instructions that are required, it was nearly 1 page per kilometre of pace notes. So a lot of reading for those co-drivers to do in that long stage, despite the fact they did it in about 27 minutes for those top runners. He also reported there was a lot of spectators out on the stage, so I do have to kind of thank all of the locals for coming out supporting the Daybreaker Rally powered by Brian Green Properties. It's been fantastic to have such strong local support, including from the councils, Manawatu District Council and the Rangitikei District Council. We couldn't hold this event without you. We might see if Chris Grant is available to give us a bit of a rundown on the results after stage 7 𝗥𝗡𝗆𝗆 as they head into the service at Manfield. But Chris, anything you would like to report?
Yeah, hi Lani. Just getting things set up for this afternoon's repeat stages. Was there any mention by those drivers that they thought the roads were going to be significantly different in road condition? I missed on hearing Hayden's specific comments. Did he think he was still going to have a major advantage in this afternoon's repeat stages?
He didn't really give that one away, I don't think. I know Andrew Graves was saying it was tricky this morning, and it is already a little bit cut up, so I would expect that the second run through might be even more so. But certainly none of them seem worried about it, and they all seem to be really looking forward to doing those repeat runs through those 2 stages.
Okay. All right. Well, so basically, having got us through, as the guys have been saying, 7 stages or 6 stages run by 11 o'clock in the morning, a bit unusual, and just 3 to go. A great comment by 𝗥𝗍𝗆𝗆𝗆 saying he felt like it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon already. But as these drivers enjoy the sausages and the conversations and the driver signing session at Repco, our current overall standings, as we've been referencing, major significant lead to Hayden Paddon and Jared Hudson in his 50th co-driving exploit. The Rally 2 Hyundai i20 has a 3-minute 43.7 second lead over Ben Hunt, who I was concerned to hear is suffering from a bit of a back problem. So that can't be at all comfortable in the Vantage 𝗥𝗱𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆 that really doesn't matter too much. The main thing is that Robbie Stokes has suffered a gremlins morning, an atrocious morning with electrical issues on the Ford Fiesta. And from what I last saw, I think he's actually still stuck in stage 6. The car appears to have finally ground to a halt. And he's even actually gone off the course now. Obviously, his team are recovering the car to try and sort out what it is. Maybe they're going to be pushing it. I doubt that they'll be able to do anything to get the car repaired, because they can rerun, or they can rejoin to run the power stage, stage 9, but they're rapidly running out of time to do that, which of course is now effectively, it is 1:30 or 1:20 that stage is due to run. Whether they can get the car repaired in time and get it back over to be able to try and salvage some points from this round of the New Zealand Rally Championship remains to be seen. But Ben comfortably in second place at the moment, ahead of Zeal Jones in the similar, or the R5 spec Skoda. He's 39.5 behind Ben Hunt in third place. Great result, would be his best result so far of his career if he can get a podium finish in the overall standings. Emma Gilmore similarly 33 seconds down in her Citroen. Then we're back to Brendan Reeves, and terrible to hear that he's suffering from car sickness himself, where he was in the night stages feeling off colour. That's not the way we want our Aussies to enjoy our New Zealand rally roads, but he's in fifth place, 17.8 behind Emma Gilmore. And then we go back to the guy we were talking about in the last cross, the amazing Andrew Graves in the Evo 3 Mitsubishi Lancer with his son Hayden calling the notes. They're in sixth place, leading Cat 5 well and truly. They're a minute 11 down on Brendan Reeves and 6 minutes 25 behind the leader Hayden Padden. Hayden McKenzie is the leader in the all-comers rally, 21 seconds down on Andrew Graves, 7th overall. Then we go back to Stuart Reid in the Mitsubishi Mirage, another 49.4 further back. And then the second guy in Cat 5, main rival at this event for Andrew Graves, Caleb McDonald, also from Southland in his Evo 6 Mitsubishi Lancer. He is 9th overall, 11 seconds down on Stuart Reid. And just checking it through, he is 1.5 minutes down on Andrew Graves in the battle for the Rally Challenge points. Jeff Argyle, a slower time through that stage 10, possibly as we were talking about due to the worsening road conditions. He's dropped a place. Caleb McDonald's got ahead of him after stage 7, and he is now in 10th place overall in the Evo 7 Lancer, just 0.2 of a second down on Caleb McDonald. And the top 20 completed by Carl Robinson, who's come up a place third in the all-comers rally. He's just got ahead of Tim Smith in the Magnum H6 Subaru by 3 seconds. James McDonald in his similar H6 Impreza is 13th overall. Then we get to our leading two-wheel drive competitor, Dylan Thompson in the Rally 4 Fiesta, 14th overall. Jay Pittams is next in his Subaru. He's in the Cat 5 category. William Menzies is 5th in the all-comers rally in his Evo 6 Lancer. And then our second overseas visitor, Pierre-Henri Brunet in the Ford Fiesta Proto, is in 17th place. Then comes the second guy in two-wheel drive. That's Bryn Jones in his similar Rally 4 Ford Fiesta. So the gap there between him and Dylan Thompson is eased out now to 1 minute and 9 seconds. Nelson Law, another one of our trio visitors from Vanuatu in the Mazda. He is in 19th place, just dropped 3 places in that particular stage. Then 20th is wrapped up by Bradley Stewart in his Impreza. And the last couple I'll mention at this stage, the two-wheel drive competitors in the NZRC. Jack Stokes is in third in that category, 21st. 45 seconds ahead of Tim Mackesy, debuting his new Rally 4 Fiesta. So that's our current standings there. As far as retirements go, just scrolling down and getting that up for you. Yeah, we've now recorded a retirement.
Yeah, it was interesting, Chris. We actually had 5 casualties in Special Stage 6, mostly mechanical, but one off-road. But it was interesting to see that we had 5 people retire in Special Stage 6 Beeper Day.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. Well, Robbie Stokes officially withdrawn in that stage. Gavin Feast, car 17 in his Subaru WRX. Amy Keeley in her Magnum H6 Subaru will win out there. And also Brian Terry in his Toyota Starlet, one of the leading Class A runners. And also Murray Percival went off the road and is out of the rally now as well. And they go with the early ones we mentioned, which was Jared Parker, car 40. Unfortunately, gearbox casing cracked, apparently, was the suspicion of what had gone wrong on his Corolla. Chris Bellis in his Impreza was out in stage 3, Turikina Valley, with a problem, and mechanical problem, and Callum McKenzie was out with a clutch problem after stage 3, touring to stage 4. So the retirements we have so far to date.
There's been a lot happen this morning, and that leaderboard, I am sure, will continue to change throughout the day. Thank you, Chris, for that wrap-up of the results. We will try and cross back to Lance very shortly in the service park. But, Chris, do you have any predictions of what might happen on the power stage?
Well, Hayden will win it, probably. That's totally unstunning prediction, I would suggest, from that point of view. But yeah, there certainly needs Ben needs to make sure he heads off 𝗥𝗱𝗍𝗆 or anybody else. If he can't match the pace of Hayden, then he has to get the maximum he can, because there's 5 points up for grabs for going fastest on the power stage, then 4, 3, 2, 1. So it pays through to 5th fastest, and that would be just something that Ben has to do to get the maximum points he can. So he'd be looking at this stage, obviously, with the way the form is going, to work on hanging on to Hayden's coattails so he can get 4 points and only sacrifice 1 point in Hayden's pursuit of, because it's now obviously with Robbie Stokes' demise coming down to a 2-horse race for the championship. Can Ben do enough with his sore back and his great car and his great co-driver to hold off the rampant Hayden Paddon as this rally concludes its final 3 stages, as well as the next 2 rounds, Rally BOP in 3 weeks' time, and then ultimately, of course, the big 2-day 𝗥𝗱𝗆𝗆 International Rally in November. So, yeah, we'll definitely be interested to see. That would be the main thing I would say, is that Ben needs to make sure he keeps his nose clean and does the best he can to get second fastest through the power stage. 𝗥𝗱𝗍𝗆 obviously doing a fantastic job. Anything he can do from here on is a bonus. He just has to keep his nose clean and hold Emma at bay to get his first podium finish. So that would be fabulous for him from that side of things as well.
Thanks, Chris. Very insightful thoughts there. So I think we have Lance now back at the signing session in the centre of Feilding. Lance, what's happening there at the moment?
Yes, well, we'll have a very quick word to Jeff Argyle. The question was, what happened in that long stage? It's a little bit of a tale of woe.
Yeah, we lost the rear brakes about 4k in, only front, so it's only about an inch off the full pedal. And then we sheared a rim and a half for the last 8k.
Okay, so three-wheeling it.
Yeah, basically.
And nothing like a challenge. They've got 1 minute to lay exit regroup for the service, which is happening at Manfield. It is a hive of activity, absolutely no doubt about that. Cars coming, cars going, people everywhere. There is the signing session going on up at the stage, but one of the points of difference is how dry it is here. The ground is even dry. However, before I get too carried away with how wonderful the weather is in contrast, you feel a temperature change. Lani, anything showing on rain radar? Anything we should be aware of?
Yes, there is a front coming from the northwest across from Wanganui. It is showing that there is some moisture in that, but I am hoping that it kind of skirts around us here in Manawatu, or at least waits until the rally is over. It's really hard to pick because, at the moment in Palmerston North, it's been dry here for several hours. So it's going to be a hard one to pick, I think, Lance.
Yes, well, pick is a very interesting term, because could you ever pick what's happened in terms of who is where in the rally at the moment? And just as we're here at the signing session, there is the Jump Jam team from the local Manchester Street School strutting their stuff, but also there's a few little spots of moisture falling from the sky. Is it an ominous sign, or is it just a little teaser on what could happen and to be ready? So I think we'll pick the latter and just be ready, knowing it won't actually happen. At the moment, going. The next mission is to get to the end of stage 8 Peep a Day, and we'll do a full live service with the drivers from the end of stage 8.
Thanks, Lance. I think that'll be really interesting after that second run through that mammoth stage. For those that have just tuned in, Peep a Day is a repeat stage, and it is a 37-kilometre test. It was interesting hearing Malcolm Reed, one of the co-drivers, talk about that stage in terms of the pace notes, and he was saying it was nearly a page per kilometre, just demonstrating how tight and technical that stage is. with only a couple of straights for a bit of a reprieve in the middle there, Lance.
Yes, one thing, it keeps the co-driver busy, but it also keeps the driver busy. They've got to keep their mind, hands, eyes all coordinated while listening to what's being fed to them by the co-driver, who has equally got to stay in tune with what's happening, eyes, fingers on the right page, a lot of details to check, and no time for a momentary lapse of judgment. So it'll be interesting to see, as I think it was actually Emma who pointed out at Taihape, that second time through the stage was a chance to actually get the notes dialed in. The first time was the checking, and second time was the big attempt. So I'll be interested to have a chat to Emma when she gets to the end of that stage and see if that really was the case.
Thanks, Lance. For those of you that are just joining in, we will say farewell to Lance for now, who's currently in Feilding, and we will hear from him again at the end of Special Stage 8 Peeper Day, probably around 12:45 to 1 p.m. We'll cross back to Lance there. Just a recap of what's happened thus far. We have had 6 stages, with 1 that was cancelled, which brings us to about the 2/3 of the way through the rally mark. Currently, your top 10 is in first place, no surprises here, Hayden Paddon in his Hyundai i20. In second place is Ben Hunt in his 𝗥𝗱𝗶𝗆, and hot on his heels in third is the young 𝗥𝗱𝗆𝗍, one of the, I think, top picks for drivers of tomorrow, I think there. He is 39.5 seconds down on Ben. In fourth place, we have Emma Gilmore, and in fifth, we have Brendan Reeves, one of our fellow Australians that's joined us for the Daybreaker Rally powered by Brian Green Properties. In sixth place is Southlander Andrew Graves in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 3. In seventh is Hayden McKenzie. Eighth, Stuart Reid. Ninth, Caleb McDonald. And rounding out the top 10 is Jeff Argyle. Earlier in the day, Lance referred to the Daybreaker Rally as the Heartbreaker Rally, and that's certainly what appears to have happened for Jeff in that last stage, where he lost his brakes and then lost a wheel by the sound of it. So certainly a drama-packed morning for the crews. We look forward to bringing you the latest from end of Special Stage 8 in about an hour time, so feel free to join back in there. In the meantime, make sure you follow the Daybreaker Rally on Facebook or look up Rally Race Group on Instagram. Thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you again shortly.
Thank you, Lana. Very, very good bulletin there. We will see you again shortly. Thank you all for listening.